I'm conflicted.
Why?
I'm conflicted. I don't know what to feel right now. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to act.
The Civil War is at a ceasefire. It currently is done. This is the Cold War right now. We're, forget the World War II or the Afghanistan, all that. This is in between, where these giant superpowers decide not to use their nuclear arsenal against each other. Instead, they're like, I could f you up, but I'm not. That's what this is, right?
To a T. For some context, Kendrick Lamar dissed J. Cole and Drake on a Future song that was on Future and Metro Boomin's most recent album. 2 weeks later, J. Cole responded by dropping a surprise mixtape where he took little subtle jabs at Kendrick the entire mixtape and had an entire song dedicated to going at this dude. He didn't even let like a day go by for it to cook. He dropped the stuff, and then later at Dreamville Fest, he got up on stage and he apologized. I have multiple stances and multiple feelings about this. I'm gonna get into that afterwards, but first we're gonna react to the apology. So let's get into it.
This is a 5-minute apology. Let's go.
Man, that's the lamest shit I ever did in my fucking life, right? And I know this is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my niggas up there right now like, nah, don't do that. But I gotta keep it 100 with y'all, right? I damn near had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened 2-3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the motherfucking game, right? So all of this time of me moving on my own accord, for the first time I was tested. Why am I tested? Because I got the world and I got my niggas like, what you gonna do, Cole?
So that would bring me into my first stance, being a J. Cole fan in general. As a J. Cole fan, I respect him for what he did. I respect his wishes. I respect everything that he was going after, like wanting to not feel the pressure of the conflict. You know what I mean? He keeps talking about how he was peaceful, you know what I mean? That he didn't have beef with other people. He was just constantly working on his craft, doing his thing, you know what I mean? Because he dropped the warning or whatever, he started feeling something inside, you know?
You had post-nut clarity.
On the
release
level,
EP.
like that's kind of what it was. It was like he came to the realization like he was doing so good just focusing on his craft, and then out of nowhere, because people said,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Literally, like he gave in.
My niggas like, boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my fucking God. Text flooded, I couldn't even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime, boom, 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 right? Niggas wanna see blood. And I was conflicted.
This brings me into my next point. People were saying they wanted to see blood. As a hip hop fan, in general, I'm pissed. I am pissed that he did that. That he went up there and apologized, didn't give it any time to cook, and took it all back.
Is that essentially what he does with the rest of this video too?
What?
He just directly apologizes for the entirety of it, saying that he was just hot-headed in the moment.
Basically, I did watch this prior. He apologizes saying like he didn't like who he was when he was doing that. After he dropped it, he felt something. And I guess that could bring me into my third point. He's a believer in God. As a follower of God, spiritual warfare and giving into like fleshly desires and stuff like that, that plays a role in everything you do. Everything you do. Conviction is a real thing. So he did what he did, and after the fact, he immediately felt something. Like he was like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You know, which at the end of the day, he's not wrong. You know, as much as people want to call him lame or sit here and say like he shouldn't have done it, he's not wrong. You know, like him and Kendrick go way back. They were talking about doing Black Friday together. You know, they both are held to like some of the highest standards in hip hop as a whole.
Yeah, it's
like that's his brother almost. You know what I mean? So it's like for him to get up and say like, yeah, I'm gonna go at this dude. He felt something. So again, I respect it. I understand where he's coming from.
But there we go.
As a hip hop fan, they were saying like, he was saying like, oh, fans want to see blood, this, that, and the other. I don't think personally that this beef was gonna get to that point. I don't think there was gonna be genuine like tragedies or anything like that, right?
No.
From what I was hoping was gonna happen was just lyrically sparring each other. When boxers go into spar, they don't hit each other with the hardest hit.
Yeah, they don't go for the haymakers right away.
Not even right away. When you're sparring, you're not supposed to hit super hard or nothing like that. So it's like they weren't going crazy or anything like that. Cole didn't even do it. He warned somebody not to come at him, you know? So it's like, as a hip hop fan, I'm so hurt by the fact that we couldn't see anything blossom from this.
It was shut down right away. But technically, more could come from this.
It could, and that's why I'm saying it's at a ceasefire.
And that would...
rather than it being done.
That would really suck for him.
It would. It would. And see, that's the thing. Later on in the road, he said, hey, my chin's up. If you want to take a hit back or whatever, like, I'll take it like a man type stuff. I'm not going to roast you back. I'm not going to come back at you if you decide to clap back.
So he made a warning, a warning track.
Yeah.
Which is just like a light diss track, essentially. And then now he regrets it. And so now he's taking the high road, essentially, in his eyes, and saying, like, if you want to, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, kind of thing.
That's actually funny. That's one of the songs on his mixtape.
I did not know that. I don't know. At least if you ask me, I'm an outsider perspective. I don't really listen to Kendrick or Cole that much, you know? So, I mean, I think in the end, you know, it's definitely like a selfish, like, I want to consume content kind of thing. So, of course, I want rap beef to happen. You know, some of the best tracks, honestly, in hip hop come from like
rap
beef in general, you know, from tension between rappers, you know, like Pac and Biggie and stuff, you know, just like, and that's probably the most basic example. But even like MGK and Eminem for like a more recent-ish one, you know, to an extent.
I will say though that times have definitely changed when it comes to rap and hip hop though. Back then, not even just the killing or anything like that. It's like there would be times where somebody would hit somebody with a diss, somebody would reply back, and then back, and then, you know what I mean? It'd be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth type stuff. We're at a point in our generation that somebody could send shots and then take it back immediately.
But there's no taking it back once it's kind of out there, essentially.
He's saying he wants to delete it.
You can't.
You can't. Obviously,
there's really no getting
knows.
rid of it. I get that he regrets it, you know? And so what I'm trying to say, I guess, main point is, like, I understand he regrets it, and I kind of do respect the way that he's going about it. But I feel like, you know, he responded, what, 2 weeks after the disc came out?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So I feel like that's definitely enough time to kind of just recoup your thoughts if you're really trying to think that way and not record a song and then release it, and then day after you release it, immediately regret it.
I could understand that.
You're really going back on your word for that.
No. I could understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, what he's basically saying is like he was peer pressured. He was peer pressured into doing it.
I wouldn't doubt that at all.
I mean, if you're constantly having somebody in your ear saying like, oh, what are you going to say? When are you going to respond?
When are you saying all of his friends are saying his
all of his friends, and not even just all of his friends. Imagine the fan base. You know what I mean? If he reads any comments or anything like that, hell, if he watched my video. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? You have to dig so deep within to decide whether or not you're gonna clap back. Which at the end of the day, again, I don't think his warning was that OD. I don't. Apparently, he took other jabs at Kendrick throughout the entire mixtape. I didn't listen to the whole mixtape, so I don't know what he said throughout. But from what he said, it wasn't really all that crazy. He called him short, and then he called him short, and then talked about his discography, which at the end of the day, again, I feel like Cole messes with his discography. So it's like, if he was saying anything, it's literally just lyrically sparring. You know, it's basically trying to figure out who is the best of the big three. You know, trying to figure out who has that top spot, who is lyrically the best out of those three.
An ego kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
that's what it was. But now that he took it back, who is the best?
I mean, I think it still just all comes down to preference.
Well, it does.
But if we're talking
if we're talking notoriety and like fame, plays or whatever, K-Dot just won.
Oh yeah.
K-Dot just won. K-Dot. I actually saw this. His diss like that is his largest, like, #1 streamed song of all time.
Really?
Not of all time in like the world. His.
Oh.
Just solely based off of this. You know what I mean? And that's insane to me. So it's like he won now. And then don't even get me started with Drake. What is he gonna do now? What is he gonna do?
Drake?
Yeah. What is he gonna do?
Oh, you're short and I got a big. I know you saw that video. That's Drake.
You sound just like him.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. He has no backup now.
Oh, not at all.
Yes,
Let's be real. J. Cole's gonna change his mind 2 days later. Be like, you know what? Actually, let me drop this. And then he drops like an actual diss track with Drake.
On the realest note, if he did that, I would lose a lot of respect for him. And,
100%.
And I would.
Because now it's frustrating to an extent because now he put himself in a situation where if he responds to another diss track, he's going back on his word again. You know, and he's just kind of playing himself and then also playing into Kendrick. So I feel like that's another point for Kendrick, regardless.
Yeah.
If he doesn't respond with anything, then it does seem like a pretty, like, lame is not the right word for it, but it's like, you know, if you were really this heartbroken over releasing something like this, then there really should have been a moment where you kind of self-reflected by yourself. I know there's a lot of pressure in your ears, but that's kind of the whole point of it. And he holds himself to such a high standard because he is a great rapper. He's really talented and stuff. And if he really feels like he was dissed by Kendrick, you know, he could have responded in another way.
Which I want to talk about real quick. That was so out of nowhere. Kendrick's diss was out of flipping nowhere. Because he referenced the big three and stuff like that. But how long ago was First Person Shooter drop? That was so long ago. He doesn't, but
that's why. Kendrick's probably like, oh, that was 4 months ago, huh? That's news today. That's right. That's how it works.
Type stuff. But I mean, that's just insane to me. So it's like, on one hand, I thought it was justified for Cole to come back. And again, as a consumer, as a hip hop fan, I would have loved to see the great music that could have blossomed from this, but we're not going to get that now. No, we're going to get possibly Drake saying something or going to Instagram and posting a picture with a crazy caption. Or we're going to have
I feel like even if he posted like a random caption and he said bunny, everyone would be like, oh, what does this mean?
Hold on. Jumping to conclusions? Something like that. But I mean, yeah, that's all that's gonna come from this. Or we might be back in the same room talking about Kendrick's clapback yet again. Something else I wanted to talk about was an older Kendrick song. Yeah, it's called The Heart Part 4. There's a verse on there that talks about this entire situation basically to a T.
Damn, did he predict it?
He predicted it. It reads, and I quote, "Tiptoeing around my name, nigga, you lame. And when I get at you, homie, don't just tell me you was playing." Oh, I was just playing, K-Dot. Come on, you know a nigga rock with you, bro. You know what time it is, ante up. This is in forever. Y'all got till April 7th to get y'all shit together. The apology came out on April 7th or April 8th or something.
It's currently April 9th when we're recording this. So you think they're in cahoots? Like that's a pretty big coincidence. There's no way, especially if he's trying to make a diss track on somebody, there's no way you would not at least see what he said about you.
I think The Heart Part 4 came out a really long time ago.
But also, is he talking about J. Cole in that?
No, not necessarily, but he's talking about anybody that disses him in general. So it's like Cole fed into or not.
Oh yeah, so Kendrick completely did this. Okay, this is Cole, this is Kendrick right now. That's not in height. You know, it's literally.
But the Heart Part 4 was released back in 2017. He
That's
said
like
all
yesterday
of this
for Kendrick. Like, what's that? It's 2024? Damn, I thought it was Christmas. All right, Kendrick.
His time is all types of messed up. But yeah, that was when that was dropped. And then 7 years later, here we are. Cole is apologizing, saying, "Hey, I'm cool with you."
It's mature. It is, but like I said, it's like a bully pushing you around, but he never throws a punch. You know, he's just like pushing you, saying like, you know, hey, like I'm the king of the playground or something. And then out of nowhere, you're like, you push him a little harder back, and then you're like, you know what, man, I'm sorry. If you want to hit me, you can. It's like, what? You know, it's also a respect thing too.
It is.
You know, like this is respectable in a sense, but also it kind of shows you bellying up. It's hard because you're never gonna please everyone no matter what. Yeah. And this is definitely not gonna please everyone.
It's not. Well, actually, a lot of people are coming to his aid. I think a lot of people are glazing completely, saying like, oh, he...
Let's look at the comments. Man, Cole can't even just be 10 toes down on his words. It's like dude pushing you on the ground and looking to you. Damn, bro, my bad. I was having a bad day. Nah, he's dodging that smoke from Kendrick. Kendrick probably sent him a small sample of what his response is gonna be. And there's this one though. Cole staying true to himself is a blessing. Most rap beefs these days are marketing tactics anyways. This is a marketing tactic no matter what, even if they didn't want it to be. Even if they didn't want it to be, it's going to be. What if the fans said, no, we hate him?
Talking about who?
I don't know. Impossible. K-Dot has respected I'm all the way in. Joburg. That's not a place. In my home country, we call this poo-poo. But y'all can call it bull.
The f do you live? Probably in Joesburg. Lame.
Being a Cole fan, being a follower of God, being, you know what I mean, just me as a whole, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with what he did. I do respect it. I think we are missing out on a lot of good music opportunities as consumers, but I'm okay with what he did.
I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
I can see both sides of it. It's still always fun to see beef. It really is.
It is.
I think that's just every person deep down wants to see something entertaining. You know, it really just comes down to entertainment.
I agree.
But also, like, good music can also stem from it.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, these are grown men writing angry poetry about each other. You know, so it's like maybe in his mind, he's like, you know, it's really just, it's not worth it. It really isn't, especially if he got in touch with God and stuff. And he's like, you know, this isn't really something that I want to do. You know, like, I really haven't made a diss on him at all, right?
No.
As far as I can.
No, I don't think he has.
You know,
if anything, I think he's just has praised him and respected him throughout.
Yeah.
You know.
And then maybe Loki Kendrick's kind of in the wrong for it, in a sense of like attacking him for no reason. Nothing super crazy, but just unprovoked.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, definitely in the middle, because I definitely would have liked to see this go on. I'm not gonna lie, it would have been cool to see Cole do one, and maybe if Drake does one. I don't think Drake's gonna do one.
I think at this point he shouldn't. I don't think he should. If he does, then I'm gonna be very surprised. But
It would be cool if it actually was good too.
yeah. I think I was watching Anthony Fantano. It was like, even if it was good, then something bad would come from it or something, he said. I'd have to reread.
Probably because Kendrick would respond and say like, Millie Bobby Brown,
brother.
And Drake's like,
Oh my God, J Cole, help me.
he's like, J Cole, you got to take a look at this. So, all in all, lame. Just crooked frown now. It's not even crooked smile, bro. It's just sad.
Instead of wet dreams, it's sad dreams.
Nightmare. Just nightmare. He's tossing it through.
Love yours.
You.
I'm sorry.